Alright, guys. I'm going to read the next installment of Freedom versus Communism. This is the next to the last installment. Our economy is important. The next chapter is called, the next to the last chapter in Book 1 is called Our Economy is Important. Then the very last chapter of this Book 1 will be Reality versus Illusion. Reality versus illusion. So, let's get on with it. Okay. Our economy is important. The second reason why this course emphasizes economics, that our economy is important. We are facing an economic challenge. The communist challenge is total, ideological, political, and economic. Our prestige, posture in the world today, depends on our moral and spiritual values, but it also depends on our economic strength. The demands on our economy are heavy. It is called upon to provide the resources that will enable the United States to maintain a military deterrent sufficiently strong to discourage Russia or any other country from turning the Cold War into a hot war. It is called upon to provide resources that will enable the United States to play a leadership role in scientific and space exploration. It is called upon to provide resources that will build up the strength of our allies and help the so-called uncommitted nations of the world maintain their independence. And now I don't think they're really, to tell you the truth, fighting for anybody to maintain their independence. We tried, just like the people that did the September 11th bombings against us during the Reagan era. We thought they were doing that during the Reagan era. And they were funding them people. We were funding the Contra rebels and all of them. And fast forward down the line, giving them money for how many years, and then they blow up our Twin Towers. Somebody got pissed off. Maybe somewhere along the line, Bush might have said, "Hey, we've been giving you guys money long enough, and we're going to cut you guys off," and they get pissed off. Who knows? But then there's also a YouTuber which goes by the name, the Iran-Contra scum did 9/11. So somebody out there on YouTube thinks that the Iran-Contra scum did 9/11. And he believes it's strong enough to actually name his YouTube that title, Iran-Contra scum did 9/11. I ought to check one of these days if that YouTube channel is still up and type in Iran-Contra scum did 9/11. But yeah, Iran is another country too. Every time one ruling group is overthrown, the next one put in there is way worse. Yeah, and every time we've helped overthrow any kind of countries, every time our country helped overthrow some other kind of country to maintain or give them freedom and independence, I ended up generating the opposite, so go figure. The worst leader went into power. But anyway, yeah, called upon to provide resources that will build up the strength of our allies to help the so-called uncommitted nations of the world to maintain their independence. But now it's almost like we're not making them maintain their independence. It's almost like overthrowing them. Some other asshole would be in power. We're pushing toward a new world order, like a lot of us might believe. And our president and different people in our country getting too cozy with the king of North Korea, getting too friendly with him, dude. But at the same time, it's called upon to meet these demands. It is being called upon to provide jobs and raising the standard of living for our increasing population, placing emphasis on the necessary for a strong, stable, growing economy does not mean we are overly materialistic in today's world. It means we are realistic. Um, uh, yeah, in a way, but then when our leaders are actually people who get into politics and religion, seem to be pretty materialistic to me, even though a lot of us ain't overly materialistic. We want cool stuff, nothing wrong with that, but everybody that's in organized religion and high level organized religion, heavily funded religions, and then politicians, they're helping themselves right off the top, giving themselves higher paychecks. And then leaders of organized religions, too. It's a paid occupation, and they have to have all these cars and all these very large paychecks. Well, there's a lot of people out there that are actually poor too. So I think it's a little bit of both. And maybe other countries are looking at us and they're looking at that and thinking we're all like that, and we're not. We all want to make a decent living and have money to pay our bills and some money left over maybe to buy some cool stuff, go run around to the mall, go out see a movie, go out to a sports baseball, hockey game, a basketball game, whatever it is we do, buy some CDs or records or whatever we want to do, new furniture and all that, have something decent. But yet some of us, like to go in stores and buy used merchandise too, used furniture and stuff. And we're not all a materialistic country. A lot of us are really, in our country, are willing to go to shops and buy some used item that's older that maybe coordinates with our belongings. And then while there's others that are addicted to gold and silver jewelry and keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak, and living beyond their means. So, yeah, I know anyway. I'm a yammer on and on too much, but you get the idea. But placing emphasis on the necessity for a strong, stable, growing economy does not mean we are overly materialistic. In today's world, yeah, we are realistic. So my yammering, I'm talking about realistic, really. So, yeah, it kind of goes a couple of different ways there. In our free competitive economy, well, anyway, excuse me, if our free competitive economy is weakened, the whole balance of the world power is tilted to the side of the communists. If our free competitive economy is weakened, we lose our biggest advantage over the communists. If our free competitive economy is weakened, a basic weapon in a Cold War is made less effective. Communism as it exits, communism as it exists in today's Russia. And we like to see it exit and be gone, but it's still around, unfortunately. But anyway, communism as it exists today, and well, today's Russia, from when this book was published, they're better, so to speak. But you got some communism going on there still. Well, hell, we got it in this country right now. I mean, well, people that want it, But you got people probably with the old communist ideal still there. Maybe the old communist leaders, well, the old communist people didn't all completely die off yet. So I think, in a way, Russia, you might have communist light. They're more free now than they were. I mean, yeah, they're a lot more free than we are, but it'd be nice to do some research on the internet to see how free they still are compared to us. They are. Then in this country, we're becoming less free. Um, yeah, some people argued it, and yeah, some of us argue we didn't reach communism yet, but already there's a lot of things you're not allowed to do and say in this country um, already too. So yeah, it's up to you guys. Do some research or whatever too. But anyway, yeah, communism as it exists today in Russia is far removed from the classic Marxian doctrine of from each according to his ability to each according to his needs. It is socialistic in the sense that all the means of production are owned by the state. But it goes beyond socialism. It is a totalitarian regime. It is a totalitarian regime, a system built by a minority group who have found that by controlling the army, the police, the courts, and the means of communication, they can mold an economy and a people to expand their power. And the system has even been called state monopoly capitalism by some people. The system has even been called state monopoly capitalism by some people shall because we shall see the following pamphlets. Yeah, let me start that sentence all over again. The system has even been called state monopoly capitalism. Gee, that's a mouthful. State monopoly capitalism kind of messes my head up because the words don't kind of sound right together for some reason. That's kind of a weird word. State monopoly capitalism. State monopoly capitalism? It's the first I've heard of that word. It's been called that by some people because we shall see in the following pamphlets it has borrowed many features of capitalism. Insofar, the term capitalism involves private ownership and individualism, of course, the term does not apply. So I guess what they're trying to say is their communism, they're taking capitalism. I guess maybe they're saying that they're taking capitalism. They're saying maybe that the communists, this is what I'm guessing here. They're saying that some of the communists out there are taking capitalism and turning it upside down and inside out and reversing it, switching it around, twisting it, and turning it into something. Well, of course, it'll be state and government owned, and it'll belong to them, and you're their owners and everything else too. So they can tell everybody else what to do, and if you don't like it, you'll either get executed, beaten, and or thrown into a prison labor camp where you will work just to eat and to pay everybody else's way. Yeah, because prison labor is way cheaper. So that's why, if they want to take over, anybody that won't be re-educated, they'd gladly throw them into prison because they need cheap prison laborers then. And if you die, they don't care. They'll just toss you into, I don't know what it would be, a dumpster or somewhere, or just throw you in a hole somewhere, or whatever. But anyway, get the idea. But we all know that the American economic system is, or do we all know what the American economic system is, or do we? How does the consumer affect the decisions made on the quality and price of goods and services produced? How is the major economic problem of satisfying unlimited wants and limited resources met in the United States. How does our approach to this problem differ from the Russian approach? Or, update that today, like the North Korean approach and a lot of these other countries that have a monument to Che Guevara, which some of us would like to piss on, including me. Countries that have an idol set up to that asshole, to that dead asshole. Those kind of countries. Anyway, but how does our approach to this problem differ from the Russian approach, or to any communist country of today's approach? Why do the communists train their heaviest propaganda guns against profits? Who gets what in the United States? Let's say that again. Who gets what in the United States, and why? How is the distribution of rewards different from the communist system? How important is productivity? What is its relationship to rising standards of living? What role should the communists play? Excuse me. What role should the government play in our promoting growth? Yeah, and then while I accidentally said that, what role would the communists play in promoting growth? Which for some reason that instinct was in my head. I read the sentence wrong there. But what are the different sectors of an economy and how are they related? What can we do about inflation, about unemployment? What are these problems that will be explored in these pamphlets, which served as background reading for the course workshops? So anyway, these books were once a course workshop. I'd have to look at up on the internet if they have any such workshop, and if they have any books like this of today. But nonetheless, needless to say, or should I say needless to say, I really do need to say, I have saw that they had PDF Acrobat documents, scanned documents of these books on the internet, on a website, that you can actually read. But anyway, that's the end of this chapter, and I'm going to end it right here. This is going to be like 18 minutes long already, almost 19 minutes. So the very last chapter is reality versus illusion. We'll read it in the next video. And we will see somewhere along the line about going on to book number 2. Which book number 2 is consumer control, or book number 2 will be consumer control or controlled consumers. So anyway, but all right then, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the very last chapter of book 1, and